What's happening, my good people? It's your boy PKG Deluxe back with another vid on how I did. You already know what it is. So I'm here to talk about something today that definitely interests me, but I had to make sure that I was knowledgeable enough to explain it. But there are things that you're able to make money off of doing simple services, right? One of those simple services that I figured out, or found out about, I should say, is the universal remote. Before I get into that, I'll say, excuse me for having the bee sting on my right side over here. That's why the jaw's kind of swollen. I was out here, knuckle boxing bees and I lost, so it's whatever. But anyway, I'm still here to drop you a video because of that. And today I'm talking about the universal remote. Now, why the universal remote? Because people don't know how to program the damn thing. And that's cool, because there's an option for you and an opportunity for you to go out there and do it for somebody. So I have a job that's coming up in a couple of weeks, and it requires a universal remote programming, meaning that the person may want to have their TV, amplifier, sound system, and any other devices that can connect either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connected to the device and work in that fashion. Now, I speak about this because this remote that we're talking about isn't like any other remote. This is like a $300 remote. $300 remote? Yes, a $300 remote. And I say that with all seriousness because it does a lot. So, universal remotes and Harmony Elite remotes. So we're not talking about a remote that can just go to a TV and start working type thing. Nah. This is a remote that is a smart device that programs into your TV that enables you to use all the devices that are connected to your TV in a simultaneous fashion, so you don't have to continue to get up and get that sit back down. Okay? So this remote that I'm teaching you about has a lot of functions that it goes through. And in the process of this, we're going to try to figure out how to set the TVs up, the receiver up, Bluetooth speakers up, and all Wi-Fi connected devices up so that we can turn them off and turn them back on at one point in time. Why am I speaking about that? Because, like I said before, it's an opportunity. It's a chance of learning something that you never knew before, and also gaining some knowledge on a cool device. Now, in all this, I don't want to sit here and say I'm teaching you how to be your own Geek Squad agent, but I'm teaching you how to use tech services to monetize your own value. Just by knowing how to set up the device, you may be able to make $1 or $2 off of that. Just by knowing how to mount a TV, you may be able to make $1 or $2 off that. Just by knowing how to do doorbells, you may be able to make $1 or $2 off that. All of these jobs that I've continually referenced over and over, these were things that I'm able to make $1 or $2, or at least over $100 just by learning or knowing the service. If you at least know how to do it, someone's going to pay you for it. And I'm not talking about $20 or $40, nothing like that. Like a legitimate pay for your service and time, because some of them become complex. Now, I'll speak about the remote because it's one of those ordeals that can get to that level of complexity and confusion, where it's not as easy to program and set up and go back and forth in between. But that's what you're there for, the specialist and design for. Now, it does come with instructions. You can read the instructions. It does go with a step-by-step guide. You can go with the guide. But my first-handed knowledge on even using this remote was in the store. So I never would have had the opportunity to take the remote itself and turn off all the TVs that work in the store. So at closing time, around like 7, I guess now, but it would have been 9. At home theater, you're turning off all the TVs because you don't want them to have burning and all these other images. They can play all day, all night. In that, it's either 2 ways you could do it. Not all the TVs have universal remotes, so where you can just click them off from. And not all the TVs are the same. So you have Sony, LG, Samsung, Vizio, Insignia, Westinghouse, and the list continues. But you have a plethora of televisions. Now, how do you turn them all off? This is where we start talking about the Harmony Elite remote. Why? Because that remote is able to turn off every last TV in the store, if programmed correctly. So it can turn off LG, it can turn off Sony, it can turn off Samsung, it can turn off Vizio, it can turn off any device that you have. It can go through all the applications that you want. It could do a slew of things for a basic remote. But this is not a basic remote. It just gives you the applications and freedoms so that you don't have to go back and forth with connecting other devices and or getting up to press the button on your receiver so that you have sound coming through. This is what that is for. So they get specialists, people that are designed to know about these things and have worked in the functionalities of it, to go out there and give it a shot. So I'm teaching you guys today about an Elite Harmony remote. If you guys don't know any ordeal, they are online. You can look at them, maybe even purchase one and practice with it. But an Elite Harmony remote is an easy way to make about $80 just off of doing it. So, hey, that's a little tip trick. I want you guys to use it, win off of it. We're going to go do the job sometime this week, and I'm going to show you guys how it's done, all right? PKG Deluxe is here. PKG Deluxe is out, baby. And once again, excuse the beast thing. It happens. Love you guys.